coming on right now to hang out with us. Robert Karakoff, good to see you. Were you a Tim Allen fan?
I'm a Tim Allen fan. I'm surprised he's still around, but he looks really good for in his 70s.
Yeah, well, he just turned 70.
There you go.
So he's just 70, looking good. I'm sure more things are going to come out with with Tim Allen. The guy just keeps on going and going. He's like best friends with Jay Leno. And all right, we'll get into that another time. This is your time because we got to talk about this. And I never really thought about it because we all just kind of pull out our apps. We jump on Uber, we jump on Lyft, and we just go to where we're going.
Right.
But then I'm like, wait a minute. What if we get in an accident, right? And that's what we're talking about today.
Right.
So tell us a little bit, first off, about Triumph Law and like really kind of what you guys do and how long you've been around.
Well, Triumph Law has been around several years now. I've been practicing law since the year 2000 and been focusing exclusively on personal injury cases. And so my practice focuses a lot on drunk driving cases, truck crash cases, Uber, Lyft cases, and catastrophic injury cases.
Okay, you got all those. All right,
yeah.
You got it all covered. Okay, so now it's Uber and Lyft cases. So let's talk about that. What do we do? If we're in the back seat of one of these or front seat of a Lyft or an Uber, and then an accident occurs.
You want to do the same thing you would do if you were in a crash and you were the driver, for example. You want to get out. We all have phones and we all have cameras at this point.
Yeah.
You want to be taking pictures of everything that you can. So pictures of the damage, pictures of the information of the other drivers that were involved, insurance information. If there are witnesses hanging around, get their contact information because those things can all really matter, especially if you get in one of those crashes that isn't a really clear liability crash like a T-bone or something. You never really know for sure who's at fault sometimes right at the very beginning.
Wow. All right. And now I didn't know about this too. Rideshare insurance. There's something like that. Is that applicable? Is there something?
Yeah, like Lyft and Uber have their own insurances, and as long as you're a Lyft driver, or if you are the driver, are driving with the app on, you have a passenger going, or if you're a driver and you just have the app on and you've accepted a ride but haven't picked up the passenger yet, then you've got a pretty substantial amount of insurance coverage, up to $1 million. Even if you're just a driver and you have the app on and you haven't accepted a ride yet, you still get $50,000 of insurance coverage through Lyft or Uber.
Interesting. All right, so let's go back to this. So if you're a passenger, all right, and you're in the car, all right, and the driver of that, all right, you're a Lyft driver, you're driving around, you crash and it's your fault.
Yeah.
What happens there?
Well, then you've got your Lyft insurance that's going to potentially cover any damages that you caused or injury that you caused. You might have your own insurance that applies as well, but same thing, you want to take pictures, collect as much info as you can, call the authorities to get a police report if you can get that done too.
Okay, do we ever use like our own insurance? Should we call our insurance company or? Typically,
just to make sure. Yeah, but if you're a driver for Lyft or Uber and you have the app on, their insurance is going to cover. And so that's going to be great. If you're a Lyft or Uber driver, you don't have the app on, then it's your insurance situation.
Interesting. And I'm sure it probably does get a little more interesting, again, to use that word, because they've got their phone on and they're always kind of looking at the app and they're looking at those types of things. So that might be something you would look into, right?
Yeah, in terms of, well, that's another thing, actually.
Fault, right?
When you ask me that question, what else are you going to collect? Make sure you get the information for your Uber driver, too, because you want to know who that is. Just because it's really easy to lose that information down the road. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
If the rideshare driver, it's not his fault. Let's just say it's not his fault at all. Someone, like I think you might have touched on it earlier, someone just bumps into him, he and I were in the car, or she and I. What happens in that case?
Well, in that case, then the other driver's insurance is primarily responsible because they're the ones that cause a crash. But Uber or Lyft insurance or rideshare insurance is still going to provide basically backup coverage for you. So the other drivers say they've got a really terrible policy, but you're pretty well hurt. You've got some extra coverage through the rideshare company as well.
That's interesting. And like you said, you cover a lot of different things. Is this big now for you guys? Are you seeing a lot more Lyft and Uber cases?
It happens quite a bit. Most often for us, it seems like we see the passengers, not so much the drivers, but both situations. We see drivers and passengers come in where crashes have been caused either by the rideshare driver or somebody else that was just not paying enough attention.
Wow, that's amazing. So would you say like maybe, I mean, not that it's on the rise, but like I said, I really never even thought about that. You hear every now and then that there's an accident out there, in an Uber or a Lyft, but it's getting out there. And if you're in one, obviously we should call you.
Yeah, well, and it happens a lot more than cab crashes do, and maybe that's just Sacramento too. Not as many cabs here.
Yeah,
but
probably New York City. There's a lot more cab crashes,
that might be different there.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. All right, Robert. Well, thanks. I appreciate you coming in and sharing that with us. Which is good. We'll throw up a little bit of information, and we'll see you again probably next week or sometime soon, right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. There's all the information right there. Triumph Law, and it's right there. There's the address in Folsom and the phone number. We get the phone number right? I love the phone number.
You did.
Is that 5 million or
5 million?
It is 5 million. I love that. 916-5 million. It's awesome. TriumphLaw.com. Go check it out.